Welcome to Topstep Funded Trader Interview. I'm Eddie Horn, and today we've got Christian. Christian's going to be with us here, one of our newest funded traders, working really hard to get to that funded level. Just want to say, make sure your pencils are sharpened, you've got ink in your pen, and you have your favorite color crayon, because I want you to take notes. A lot of this is going to help you down the road. So let's start out with Christian. How are you today?
Good. Doing good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
You know what? Thank you for taking some time out and doing this with us. This is going to be fun. Let's start out with who are you? Tell us about yourself, Christian.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born in Houston. Parents immigrated from Nigeria. Grew up in Houston, born and raised. Went to UT for school, studied econ and finance. Not that I really used my my degree in my work. But yeah, I got into trading, got with Topstep, and just, never really looked back ever since.
Okay. Now, what got you interested in trading? Who or what got the little bug in you?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what exactly it was. There's not any one thing that's like, this is what got me into trading. I know for sure what got me into like the financial world and entrepreneurial, that entire route was when I was young. I read the book Rich Kid, Poor Kid, and then Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And so that kind of opened my eyes to that entire avenue. But to say what specifically got me into trading, I have no idea. So I know I like blackjack, I like poker, I like those types of things. And so when it comes to like probability and figuring out what strategies work and how you can skew the odds in your favor and create, an edge, so to speak, I've always enjoyed that sort of thing in general. And so I think that naturally aligns with trading. But to say what specifically made me just like fall head over heels for trading and pursue it relentlessly like I have decided to, I don't know.
Now, let's talk about education, training. Have you had anything prior to Topstep, or is this all on your own?
So prior to Topstep, I've not had any like official training or paid for courses or anything like that. When I first started, honestly, was just going on YouTube and looking up videos and then trying with my own money and losing it. And so I did that for a long time before I started to actually learn. Obviously, once you do something a lot, the more you do it, the more you start to learn. So I started to get a feel and start to understand where I was going wrong. So at some point along there, I actually wasn't even trading. It was more like investing, but I guess like short-term investing, where I would hold something for 2 or 3 months, and I would look at the actual company's finances and that sort of deal, and try to see, okay, this makes sense. I think they're going to do good this quarter. And so, is that trading? Some people may say it is. Some people may say it's not. It's more of an investing mentality. But that's really where I started, was honestly buying stocks.
What are you trading now, and why are you trading? Is you still trading MES?
Topstep specifically, I trade only NQs. So Topstep is that's the big account. That's the one that's the one that's gonna get the Ferrari, so to speak, someday.
So,
So yeah, I
so
just trade NQ.
you like the speed. You like the speed of the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's a little fast. So you're liking that speed with the Nasdaq, the
Right.
movements. Okay.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. The NASDAQ, actually moves very quick. Sometimes it moves too quickly, in all honesty. And I think one of the biggest challenges I have in my current trading is sometimes, because I like to trade based off a 15-minute chart. And so I'm not going to enter until the close of a candle. And sometimes I'll get an engulfing candle. And if I put my stop loss as tight as possible, it's still 60, 70 points, which is, over a third of the total drawdown. So it's almost like I'm just risking my entire account like on a daily basis, trying to, trade the way I want to. But that's what I like. I like the way the Nasdaq moves. I've done a lot better on the Nasdaq than with anything else. I've had some success with ES, but really with ES, I just like to keep an eye on it just to see, how's the market reacting? Is the ES looking heavy? Usually the Nasdaq tends to want to follow that as well. So that kind of thing.
Let's talk about the Top Step process. How long have you been with us here at Top Step?
So been with Topstep. I don't remember exactly what month I first started, but it's getting close to 2 years now. Probably that entire first year, I was recycling combines, just resetting. Because again, when I first found it, the first time I heard about Topstep was watching Brian Watts' video. He made a mention of, you can do a lot of people are trying to trade with their own money and they're wasting it. You're better off getting an account with, a prop firm. And he just, pulls up Topstep on his screen and says, get an account with them. And even if like you blow accounts, like you'll learn a lot more actually trying in that environment rather than, you load 5K in your own account and you just slowly whittle that down. So it was the first time I heard about Topstep. And then started trading, and I started trying to apply what I was doing in my personal account on my Thinkorswim. I was trying to scale into MES on Topstep, which doesn't work very well because of some of the rules. So had a hard time with that. And once that wasn't, once I realized that wasn't going to work, I started realizing I have to find a strategy that fits within Topstep's rules and the way they kind of want us to trade and what their philosophy is. And I need to adapt to that as well as the market and find what will work. So what I'll say the result of that is it forced me to backtest a lot. So backtesting was not something I had ever really done before Topstep. I think both TradeStation and Tradeovate, they both have great replay platforms and great replayability. So literally, you put it on 4x speed, replay the day. It takes 2 hours. I kid you not, for a year, every single day, I would replay the entire day. And some days I would do it more than once because I was trying to figure out which strategy works. And so doing that, I ended up learning a lot, and I ended up learning how to, I don't necessarily say game the system, but how to play the market in a way that fits within Topstep's rules and regulations. And it's hard. It's really hard, but it's doable. And if you force yourself to adhere to it and to be honest when you're doing something wrong, to admit it and to keep track of it and try to figure out why it's going wrong and improve, then you will improve.
Key word you did say there was adapt. And that's markets are different every day, and it's we've got to adapt, we've got to fine tune, we've got to adjust, and that's gonna move you forward instead of backwards. So well
Right.
done on that. Now let's talk about your strengths. What strengths do you have as a trader that you would be proud to share with us?
And I don't know if I have any, any
Well,
straights.
you got this interview. You got this interview going right now. It
I
got you
think
here. It got you here.
I think my strengths would just be relentlessness. I just I don't have it in me to quit and give up on something. So it doesn't really matter how much I lose or how much pain or how much any of that happens. I'm just gonna keep on trading. Um, so I think that, but I think something that I'm very actually good at is the emotional control. It's very rare that I have an emotional day or make any emotional decision, especially when trading. Like usually I just turn off all the lights, close the blinds, sit in the dark, and I'm just on an island.
Sure.
Everyone knows, don't talk to me, don't bug me, leave me alone. And, I just focus robot like, trade, put the trade on, exit the trade, close the charts, come back the next day. So I think like the emotional control is very good, but I wouldn't say that was necessarily a strength in the beginning. I think I've kind of learned that. Um, and I think it's a byproduct of just not ever giving up and back testing. So like I've really back tested quite a lot actually. Like, I think if I could actually go, I wish I could go back somehow and figure out exactly how many hours I've spent back testing. Like it's definitely more than like 500 hours spent sitting here looking at charts and just testing stuff. So I think in doing that, I know exactly what my parameters are. Like I know at a 68% win rate, I know having 3 or 4 losers in a row is normal and is inevitable for me at some point. And I know that I shouldn't worry if that happens. And I know if I increase my win rate, for example, from 1 to just 1.3, not win rate, sorry, my risk reward to 1 to 1.3, that 0.3 seems arbitrary, but I know that lowers my win rate down to like a 57, 58 area. And knowing that kind of thing gives me a lot of, it's a lot of information. You have a lot of understanding when you know, okay, this is what I can expect from my strategy over the long term. And so it makes it a lot easier to deal with, like, okay, I'm in a bad position. I've had 2 or 3 losses. Should I really take this next trade or should I not? And so I don't really second guess myself. It's just trades there, take it. If it's not there, leave it alone and just,
Right.
do what you're supposed to do.
You can't dwell too long. You've got to make a decision. You've got to make it, moving forward, or am I going to take a few steps back? And
Right.
that's throughout the whole day. How about a weakness? What's something that uh, you can work on and you can share with us?
Oh, for sure. That one's impatience.
Okay.
Impatience. I want it. I want it now. I want, my favorite trades are when it's done quickly. Like I like when, um, even if it's getting stopped out, and usually when I get stopped out, it's very quick. Um, I think my average trade time on losing trades is 4 minutes and some seconds. And so that's kind of a pro and con. But it's a weakness because if I'm doing badly and I'm impatient, my next trade, I tend to want to increase my size to make back everything and be positive on that day. And so sometimes I can justify it because I know what my strategy does and I know how it performs very well. And so I know that most of the time, if I do this, I'll be okay. But every now and then it's going to bite me. And when that happens, obviously it's not good.
Right.
So,
Once bitten, twice shy. So
yeah,
this, and
yeah,
if you're keeping a journal, these are things that you need to write down, so you don't forget them in case they pop up again. You know how to react.
right.
Now, we've got a lot of listeners, traders, and so forth, experienced, non-experienced listening. Um, let's focus on the new traders. What
Right.
words of wisdom would you share with a new trader?
I'd say 2 things. Probably the first one is trust but verify. There's so much information out there. There's so many gurus. There's lots of, courses and things you can buy. There's lots of free YouTube videos that honestly, you can learn everything you need to learn just watching YouTube videos to trade. You really can. But you've got to go test it for yourself. You've got to put yourself in an environment where you're taking it very seriously and trading as though it was live and real, but it's demo, it's safe. And so in doing that, you can really learn like what works and how it works and why it works. So I think what happens and where a lot of people struggle is they'll do whatever course or watch whatever video or get whatever strategy, and they will know that strategy, but they won't know, maybe the way the strategy was taught doesn't really tell all the parameters of why it's not working. Like for example, I've seen, I won't like name drop the course or anything, but it teaches a strategy that's based on pullbacks in a trending market. So it explains, it just says pullback to a level, but it doesn't explain how to find if this pullback is big enough, it's too small, if it's valid, if it's not, if market structure is breaking. So if you don't test it or you don't already know that from some other experience, you're gonna have a hard time with it. So I'd say that, like first thing I'd say is trust but verify. um, Take whatever you learn and go, and this is ties into my second words of wisdom, which are just backtest, backtest, backtest. So whatever someone gives you and tells you, take it and go backtest it till your eyes bleed, so to speak. And you should know the ins and outs of that strategy very, very deeply and be able to tweak it and know how that will affect the strategy before you actually take it live.
See, it's a lot of homework. I mean, it doesn't come overnight, and there's a lot of work involved for success, and that's why it's got you where you want to be right now. How about qualities? What qualities do you think make a good trader?
There's so many things that it takes to be a good trader. But if I had to say if I had to pick just one, I'd say balance. And the reason I say balance is because trading is odd. In a lot of things, if you just fully commit and say, I'm going to go hard every time, you can be successful in it. But trading is not one of those things. There's there's times when market conditions will force you to be very patient, be very cautious, and you should be a little more fearful and not enter trades. But there's also times where you should absolutely like full send and let it go. So being able to balance everything and understand, sometimes you've really got to be aggressive, sometimes you've got to be very patient, sometimes the emotional, you don't want to get too high on your emotions and be very excited, but you also don't want to get very low and be angry or revengeful or anything. So just finding that some way to stay level and stay balanced, stay fairly neutral.
That's a question you got to ask yourself all the time. Am I balanced today? Are there emotions? Was this last trade I just did a revenge trade? You've got to question yourself on these and make sure that you are balanced. So that's great knowledge that you're sharing with us here. Let's move on to the next topic, talking about what Topstep has done for you. Has Topstep made you a better trader?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of forced me I mean, it forces you to improve. Otherwise you can't stick around. It's impossible. You can, if you, let's say you have infinite money to pay for combines, well, you're just going to keep paying if you don't improve, unless you get to like a certain minimum of where you can pass a combine, get through the pro, get through the funded, and stay semi-consistent. It's just not going to work. You're just going to keep spending money. Now, what I say is the biggest advantage of trading with a firm like Topstep is that, again, the emotions and all those things are there when you're trading in a combine, because money is on the line. You're not actually risking your own personal 3K or whatever it is, whatever, depending on your account size, but that emotional aspect is definitely there, and it allows you to sort of smooth out that curve of how much money you would end up spending or losing while learning, right? I think we all go through that learning period and that learning process, and trading with Topstep definitely helps you really be in a serious environment where you can really learn quality things that will actually help you trade, but also minimizes the expense and the pain that is associated with getting started and learning.
Right. It's stressful. It's not easy, and that's one thing throughout my career. It's not been easy, but the rewards are something that you can't experience anywhere else.
Right.
And that's why we're still doing this. So
Sure.
um, let me ask you about this. What do you like most about Top Step?
I like most about Top Step, and this is something that I'll say direct to competitors, right? Because obviously Top Step has competitors. The thing that I like most about Top Step is the speed at which you can get funded. I don't think there's any other prop firm out there that you can get funded in 8 days. And so that's actually probably my single favorite rule, is that when they changed to the 40% rule, and took away the minimum 10 days on step two, that was probably,
Consistency, right?
yeah. I like that consistency rule, because if you're consistent, then it's not an issue. I think for some people, they complain about it because maybe they don't have that consistency and they feel handicapped by only being able to make a certain percentage in a single day. But if you're already consistent and you know what your strategy is capable of, then it's actually to your advantage, because now you can trade, with whatever size is appropriate for you, and then finish very quickly in a consistent way. Like it just works. And so again, it's part of my weakness, right? Which is that impatience. I want it now. And so Top Step offers the quickest route to like a funded account. So I like that.
Right. We're not asking for a home run. We're asking get on base. That's
Right.
about it. Get on base. Now for the this is a question I'd love to ask. It's the fun question. Okay. Um, and you see, he laughs about it because you don't know what I'm going to ask, do you now? Fun question. All right. Christian, if you wrote a book about your career so far, what would the title be and why?
I don't think I could say the title on here.
Give it up, man. Give it up.
The subtle art of just not giving, a flip. Yeah.
There's
So,
been worse
something
titles.
along those lines. Care, but don't care too much.
Why is that? Why is that?
I just think in general, I know I said balance before, but I think in general in life, I think just being balanced and steady is just such a good thing. I think I mean, you watch the news, you look at all the things that go on in the world, and it's so easy, and you see people get so bent out of shape by
Right.
so many things, and it's just, man, stay level. There's other good things out there, and just
I love
take
it.
it easy. Yeah,
I love your attitude. You know, there are things out there that we can't avoid, right? We can't avoid, but you know, we can help people around us. We can help ourselves. We can help people that we love, our family, friends,
right.
and that's the way to approach it. Is you know, do the best you can, and you know, positive mental attitude. Stay positive.
Exactly.
Cool, man.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Cool, man. Well, that's going to be it. Christian, I really appreciate the time that you're with us. And I hope those that are listening did take notes. And if they didn't, they can always rewind this video and watch it again. There's a lot of high points, a lot of great knowledge that Christian shared with us. And I hope that it benefits many others. Once again, props to you, my friend. All the best. Stay funded. And once again, thank you very much for being with us. Any last words?
You already know. Back test, back test, back test.
Back test, back test. All right, all right.
Alrighty.
I'm Eddie Horn. Until we meet again, stay focused, stay positive, trade well, and take care.